DJ Butterrock CX1 DJs. We live, baby. We live. LIVE. We live, motherfuckers. We live. Y'all know we was gonna do the show. I don't give a damn how long it takes. We hours late, but we here. Well, I think we about 3 hours late, but we here. Let's go to Instagram. Make sure Instagram popping. Shout out to everybody checking on and checking it. Everybody that been saying, Butterrock, where the Latin Quarter Show at? We yo. They've been texting me. I've been stuck at Jones Graphics. Shout out to my business partner, my homie, Bill Watson from Texas. He's from New York City, but he lives in Houston, Texas. He's out here in Atlanta now. He's out here. We doing some big business. Big pimpin', spin the cheese. Big pimpin', making the cheese. Shout out to Bill Watson out here, man. Yeah, we here. Yeah, so I'm gonna shout out all my members as long as they get on here. Let me text everybody, let everybody know we here. The Lat Quarter Show is started now. And this is the dope ass. Shout out to Punkin for the Panty Girl. We made sure she did her producer. She's one of our producers, and she's an artist, model. You could go follow her on OnlyFans as well. It's Punkerfoot 404 on OnlyFans. And she also an artist. Go look up Punkerfoot the Panty Girl on all Apple Amazon, and anywhere you can get music. Go look up Punker for the Panty Girl. She's definitely popping. Maybe text everybody. They probably in the bed slobbing on pillows, sleep and shit. Cause like, yo, is Butterrock gonna do? I'm gonna tell you something. I don't never say the show is canceled. The show ain't canceled. I know people home slobbing, ducking, whatever. I'm bullshit. I'm fucking with y'all, man. I mean, some people, some people might be asleep. Some people might be asleep. I don't know. So we're gonna text all of the members and see what they got going on, and see if they want to come and join us tonight. Some people's night owls. Some people that's getting that money, they up. So we don't know. We're gonna find out who's still popping with DJ Butterrock tonight. CX1 DJs. We do things different podcasts and Latin Quarters. So we're gonna do it like this. Latin Quarters is a historic. I'm gonna say this because I've been there when I was a teenager. I've been there when it was crazy. Slick Rick, Roxanne Shante, Big Daddy King, the Zulu Nation. I've been there when hip hop was hip hop. I've been there when it wasn't cool to be a punk bitch. You couldn't go to Latin Quarters unless you had heart. You can be a punk motherfucker going to Latin Quarters. You could not be a sissified artist. Say you're not even an artist. You couldn't be in a place unless you was ready for action. Latin Quarters was a place for culture. It was a place, I don't know, what is that noise? What the fuck is that? It was a place for culture. It was a place for new shit. So if you had a new, this is way before. So in all the pictures we flashing here is everybody that performed at Latin Quarters. These are the artists that came from Latin Quarters and they're multi-millionaires. I'm gonna tell you that's that goddamn it. I'll get into that in a little bit. That How You Like Me Now? That's that nigga. Yeah. Kumo D. Damn. That was the old Kumo D, and that's the new Kumo D. That's the old Kumo D right there. That was the heavy set Kumo D. How You Like Me Now? Kumo D performing at Latin Quarters. Back in the day when he was in his A day. A lot of these artists did not have record deals when they went to Latin Quarters. No one knew who they went there to get their name known. Roxanne Shante, first place. The second place. Roxanne Shante performed at the Fever, and then the second place she performed at was Latin Quarters. Actually, one of her performers got the goddamn club shut down. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. It was back in '87. Shit was crazy. And DJ Red Alert, that was the place for DJ Red Alert. That was the place for the Juice Crew. How you think the Juice Crew, Big Daddy King, Bismarcky, everybody from the Juice Crew got their start? Was at the legendary Latin Quarters. Salt and Pepper. I mean, we got all the legends of it. All these people that you see flashing on my screen here were some of the people that got their start at Latin Quarters. So we're gonna go through the history of Latin Quarters. We're not gonna rush it. We're gonna go through the good and bad. And we got our producer Punker for the Panty Girl. She's gonna get into it as well, the history of Latin Quarters. And We're gonna have a good night, man. I mean, I'm sorry it took forever for everybody, you know, to tune into this, but we here, and I want to tell everybody, I'm not shouting you. If you ain't on here, I don't give a fuck if it's 2 in the morning. I'm not shouting you out. I'm not, and this is a big show. Now, Kid and Play got they start in Latin quarters. Kid and Play, you could not be a star unless you was in Latin quarters. You couldn't even fathom to be a star. You can't even wake up in the morning and say, "Hey, I want to be something," without going to some of these pop-up clubs. All right, you had the Rooftop, you had Disco Fever, you had Latin Quarters. Them was the places that if you trying to make it in the industry as a DJ, as an artist, you had to say you went and performed in Latin Quarters. If you was a DJ that's trying to get him or her name out there, DJ Spinnerella spent at Latin Quarters. DJ Jazzy Jeff from Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, DJ at Latin Quarters. He had a set at Latin Quarters that was a crazy set. You couldn't be a rapper or DJ. Boogie Down Production. They had their own night. They had Saturday night at Latin Quarters with DJ Scott LaRock, DJ Chuck Chillout, and DJ Red Alert from Kiss FM. Back in them days, you had Kiss FM and you had WBLS. Now, we're going to get into the real history of Latin Quarters in a minute. Punkafoot the Painting Girl, one of our producers, and she is a music artist and model. LL Cool J. Don't forget LL Cool J. Before he got signed with Def Jam, with fake IDs, I remember me going to Latin Quarters with a fake ID with my uncles and my boys and shit like that. And we was not of age. I'm talking about 13 years old in Latin Quarters, 1988, 1987. 12 years old. I was in that motherfucker at 12. And there's a lot of crazy. We're gonna get into it tonight, and we're not even gonna rush it. We're not even gonna rush it. We're gonna get into it, and I'm gonna shout out to everybody that support DJButterrock and everybody that really fuck with me. And if you don't believe in what the fuck I do, I don't believe what the fuck you do. It's no timeline on success. Some of the most successful people make it in the middle of the night. If you're not grinding and you don't do the shit and you don't get it done, it won't happen. DJ Red Alert, I met him a bunch of times in the Zulu Nation. Red Alert, Africa Bambaataa, everybody that's a part of the Zulu Nation. We here to celebrate hip hop. RP to Africa Bambaataa. We don't got nothing to do with whatever he had going on in his personal life. We're gonna talk about the hip hop part. He put the foundation down. Him and DJ Red Alert. DJ Red Alert, he supported the Zulu Nation 100%. He's a part of the Zulu Nation. So that's his page, his picture flashing there. Cool DJ Red Alert. Hey man, Cool DJ Red Alert is a pioneer of Latin Quarters. He had his own night there. Right after he got off the radio station, he'll say, "I'm on my way to the LQ." Queen Latifah. Before the movies, before all the recording contracts, she was at Latin Quarters spitting on one of the finest, hottest female artists in the game, Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah had battle raps in Latin Quarters. She ripped females and dudes to their ass, leaving Newark, New Jersey, that area, and going to the New York City. She knew, hey man, I got to go to LQ. Queen Latifah got her start at Latin Quarters. You could not be a star. Every picture you see on my screen is legends that came and built their career at the legendary Latin Quarters. You could not be Stetsasonic. Stetsasonics had the most popular song ever. They had the most popular song ever, and when you go in there, they will play Stetsasonic. When they play Stetsasonic, Brooklyn started robbing motherfuckers. Niggas started getting stabbed. It got crazy. The DJ turned off the lights when they played this Stetsasonic anthem. They call that the Latin Quarters anthem. You could not be a real MC without Rakim. Eric B. and Rakim tore the stage down back in the early 80s at Latin Quarters. Everybody you see on my screen, once again, was pioneers. They made the foundation. They broke barriers. They made their name in Latin Quarters. If you wore your jury, Eric B. and Rakim wore their jury in Latin Quarters. They was well respected. It's a lot of people that went in Latin Quarters and tucked their jewelry. If they had a phone, they tucked it. Their wallet, they tucked it. The girls took off their earrings. You could not be in there unless you was Daryl. You could not be in there. Shout out to the Jungle Brothers. What y'all know about the Jungle Brothers? All my old school heads that really believe in hip hop, this is the show for you. The Jungle Brothers, they opened the gate for a Tribe Called Quest. You had the Native of Tongues. You had everybody that was affiliated with that. Then you had Dirt Bass. You had the two white brothers, two white people with one one black brother. But how Search tell you, hey man, I ain't. What Search tell you? He like, man, I ain't goddamn black. Even though, I mean, I ain't white. I'm black. Search uses the MC Search used to tell out to everybody. Everybody. KRS-One, he broke down barriers. Latin Quarters was one of the first place he did the bridges over. Him and MC Shan did a battle at Latin Quarters. DJ Red and DJ Cool DJ Red and Molly Mall from WBLS with the Juice Crew. And you had BDP, Boogie Down Production. They made history at Latin Quarters. You can't forget Run DMC. Run DMC was the pioneers of hip hop. They was the ones that brought hip hop to mainstream. They got their start in the legendary Latin Quarters, the LQ. So you couldn't be fresh. Like I said, you can't say to be in hip hop, you gotta say, if you from the 80s and the 70s and the early 90s era, you gotta say you've been in Latin Quarters. And shout out to Sweet Tea. She still look pretty, even to today. Sweet Tea, come on. All the female rappers that was somebody, that's Sweet Tea right there, y'all. Went to Latin Quarters. If you from that 80s era, even if you was born in the 70s and you grew up in the 80s and you don't know none of these people flashing on my screen, is something wrong with you. Shout out to Heavy D and the boys. Heavy D, at that time, way before Uptown Records, he was a dancer. He was dancing and, dancing at Latin Quarters with his dancers. Way before he was rapping. He's one of them the break dancing kind of dudes, even the biggest he was. He was there. He made a mark in Latin Quarters. I mean, we got so many beautiful artists here that's flashing on my screen, and we're gonna definitely pay homage to everybody. So we're gonna get into let's get into the Punkin for my producer Punkin. Let's get into her part of this. Let me go here and see if I can play her audio. Let's go. She's gonna give y'all the full rundown how Latin Quarters started, y'all.
Hello, everyone. This is CX1 DJ's We Do Things Different podcast. And here is a little history on the Latin Quarter. The Latin Quarter, or the LQ, was a nightclub located in New York City. The club originally opened up in 1942. Previous to this, it was occupied by the Cotton Club from 1936 to 1940. So in 1942, Lou Walters reopened it as the Latin Quarter. Lou Walters is actually the father of Barbara Walters. Before Walters was in charge of this club, like I said, it was called the Cotton Club. Now, while he was in charge of it, he brought in acts such as Frank Sinatra, Diane Carroll, the Andrews Sisters, Frankie Lane, and that's just to name a few. Walters ended his business with the club in 1950. In 1979, the space reopened as a Broadway theater. And from 1980 to 1984, it was renamed the Princess Theater. Then finally, in 1982, the theater was renamed back to Latin Quarter. And that is when the space returned to a more use of a nightclub, and it focused on hip hop music. In 1987, 3 patrons were shot leaving the club after a performance by Roxanne Shante. And in 1989, the Latin Quarter was torn down and replaced with a hotel called the Ramada Renaissance.
Yep. It was tore down and they made it into a hotel. That's what it is now. Okay. And Pugwood hit it on. She said in '89 it was a shooting outside the club. It wasn't inside the club, but I do know it was a lot of stabbings and jumps and robberies inside Latin Quarters. Anybody ever been in LQ Latin Quarters know that was not the place to go there and brag. And you get a lot of people from different boroughs that unfortunately that wasn't there to party. It was, you have your good part of Latin Quarters and you have your sad part of Latin Quarters. You have the part that people want to come and party and see to stars that's, and some of the up and coming people that's stars now, like Curtis Blow and a lot of other people. People came there to see them, but there's also people came there to rob, steal, and make a name for themselves in the streets. There's a lot of famous hip hop people that made their name in Latin Quarters for robbing and stealing, unfortunately. And I want to touch on something. It made hip hop a good place to be, but it also made some people that wanted to be in hip hop scared. So I tell a person, you was not a real person. You can't say you a real hip hopper back in them days if you didn't go to LQ. DJ Red Alert promoted it a lot on 98.7 Kiss FM in New York City. I'm from New Jersey, so I know I'm from that era. Like I said, when I went to Latin Quarters, I was actually there with my uncle and a couple other people. Yeah, I had fake IDs, but I didn't really need a fake ID because my people had juice. We could get in there. When you know people at the door, the promoter, you could get in there. And my good friend Bill Watson, Smoking Joe Entertainment, they did a whole bunch of shows in Latin Quarters, and he's Caucasian brother. Uh, I'm gonna call him my brother because he's my brother in the Mason family. So we didn't have to really worry about a ID when you with somebody. If you was a promoter in Latin Quarter days, if you knew somebody, shit, right now, if you know somebody, you could get anything in the club, guns, knives, anything like that. So it's very unfortunate that I'm gonna tell you my Latin Quarter story. Actually, I was there when Roxanne Shante. That was the day that happened. With the shooting happened, I told this to one of my other friends. We was actually at Latin Quarters in '87, and I wasn't there at the shooting, but I was there where Roxanne Shante was battling the real Roxanne, and I was at Latin Quarters. They did it at Disco Fever, and then they went to Latin Quarters and did it. So that was a very, very interesting time. Hip hop was a beautiful thing. You get to see Big Daddy Kane shine. You get to see Slick Rick. The one of the groups that I love seeing that came up in Latin Quarters was BDP, Boogie Down Production. Definitely Kid and Play. People was hungry then. It wasn't on none of this Hollywood shit. You get to hear from the '70s hip hop that it faded out, but you hear the hardcore lyrical. What we hearing from Big Daddy King, Rakim, and Sonic. Then you had, of course, when you leave it, Latin Quarters first opened in the '80s. You had the Zulu Nation was promoting that. You had Grandmaster Flash DJ in there. Grandmaster Flash, RP to him. Um, 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 it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people. So it, it was a lot of people there DJing and getting their name. DJ Chuck Chill Out, very good DJ from BLS. He was he no from Kiss FM. Excuse me, from 98.7 Kiss FM. DJ Chuck Chill Out. I finally saw a very young DJ Chuck Chill Out. I used to go to Latin Quarters as a young man, but I was a DJ. I started DJ in 1988. When I started going to Latin Quarters was in the '87. It made me want to be a DJ. It made me want to respect the art of being a DJ. Watching how they let the vinyl talks, how the new artists that had to come there with they DJ. Every artist from MC Shan to Rakim to Biz Marquee, they had their own DJ. When I first saw MC Shan on stage, he had DJ Molly Mall. super producer from the Juice Crew, and they rocked the crowd. It was like, yo, Marley Marl was scratching in there. He was transforming. He was doing that shit, tricks and shit. I said, damn, I want to do that shit. I used to listen to 98.7 Kiss FM, and I used to listen to Marley Marl, the Rap Attack with Mr. Magic on WBLS, because I'm from New Jersey. So this show is more for up north people from New York and New Jersey. You feel me? So I used to listen to them on the radio. Like, yo, I want to do that. So that made me start doing it. The Latin Quarters was the most popular club promoted on both radio stations. You had WBLS in New York City. You had Kiss FM, 98.7 Kiss FM in New York City with DJ Red Alert, WBLS with DJ Marley Marl, the Rap Attack. You could not, and both radio stations promoted to LQ. The Latin Quarters was one of the most dominant, when I say dominant, was most highly promoted clubs in New York City in the 80s. It was dominant. It came, like Punkifer said, it came from the white establishment, and then it was turned over. Still was owned by white people, but it was turned over to the culture of black nightclub life, letting the black people in the culture of hip hop, because it was mostly a hip hop and R&B club, but 90% hip hop, 1% R&B. It was R&B acts that performed at Latin Quarters, but it was mostly hip hop acts. Queen Latifah, I just want to get back to the Queen. She tore up the stage, and she had something to prove. At the time that Latifah came out, under the umbrella of the Flavor Unit, it was a time with her and DJ Mark, the 40 Pop King. Mark took his chance with Latifah. Latifah took her chance with DJ Mark, and Latifah still with DJ Mark. He had other people with the Flavor Unit he was working with, and Latifah, coming from New Jersey, she went down there and showed her ass in Latin Quarters. She was a force to be reckoned with. So my hat goes off to Latin Quarters for breaking every actor, every star, every artist that came out of Latin Quarters. Everybody from the 80s, you ain't shit unless you performed at Latin Quarters. And we're gonna get into we definitely want to shout out everybody that waited for the show tonight. I appreciate everybody. And I want to get to the video part of this. Let's get to the video part of Latin Quarters. And I enjoyed doing this show. This show was something that I couldn't wait to do. And I want to thank everybody that support DJButterrock and support Punkifoot, because this took a lot of time. We was really working on this. And shout out to everybody that was part of the Zulu Nation. Africa Bambaataa, RP to you, brother. Everybody in the Zulu Nation, everybody that have something to say about Africa Bambaataa. If you don't know his personal shit, please keep it to yourself. He's still got a family. Let God handle everything. None of us is God. So let's get into this video part of the Latin Quarters and LQ, man. It would never die. CX1 DJs. We do things different podcasts.
You better look at it, know you might lose. You know it's not a very friendly choice. It's so hard to get along and the world's so wrong, but don't forget you still have a voice.
I said say what you wanna say. Tell them T, but say what you wanna say. You got to do what I say.
If you just join us, Latin Quarters, this is CX1
Don't
DJs.
be upset, don't let your mind
Stories of Latin Quarters.
You better look at it, know you might lose. You know it's not a very friendly choice. It's so hard to get along and the world's so wrong, but don't forget you still have a voice.
I said say what you wanna say. Tell them T, but say what you wanna say. You got to do what I say. Don't be upset, don't let your mind fret. I do it to you, baby, that's a short shot bet. Sucking niggas in the house, standing in the back. You came to run, I came to rap. I say what I wanna say. Ain't a sucker in the house that can take it away. So, let's try to diss me if I leave you miss me. Girl in the front, I know you wanna kiss me. Do it.
'em, stick 'em, stick 'em, stick 'em, stick 'em. We're gonna rock the beatbox and the best funky rhythm. Now with the mind-blowing body rocking DVUCs into all the home boys and the young ladies, we're gonna rock a fierce beat with the human beatbox until the sucker MCs jump off our shots. His DJ name is Grandmaster Doc. Next, and we'll repeat it if we have to once or twice. We're gonna take it from the bottom and straight to the top. So check it out, party people, it's the human beatbox. As we told you before,
Oh, when you know it's me, the original B-R-C-O-K. I make it shake and break it, take up. Hey, ha ha, pull the Greek because I am far. I sing, record, get respected, never neglected, well protected, and you know, hey. I rock the microphone down to the beat. There ain't no other MC like me. I'm Bismarcky, and you know I'm good. Right about now, I'm a rhyme backwards. Big that means black people number one today. And I don't stop. You keep on, do the break it down. Just don't your head trip in the air, y'all. Wave them like you just don't care, y'all. And if you got on clean panties and underwear, let me hear you say, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm Shante and the rhymes to death. Just rap so fresh till I get out of breath. Now this is something that we do have to do, and this is a team that I must introduce.
Rock, the boogie down.
Now throw your hands in the air and wave 'em like you just don't care. And if you're from the Bronx and you know you deaf, let me hear you say, oh yeah. Say, oh yeah.
CX1 DJs, we do things different podcasts. The Untold Stories of New York City nightclub, Latin Quarters, and all the artists and everybody that was a part of history. Every artist that broke their record in face and name at Latin Quarters. You saw the legendary Dougie Fresh. You saw everybody we had. Everybody that you saw on the screen tonight, they got their stardom and fame at the legendary Latin Quarters. I thank everybody that's going to watch this video, and a big shout out to everybody that tuned in earlier that we wasn't on, because we was definitely handling the production part of this show tonight. I appreciate everybody that's tuning in now and later, and thank you for sharing and liking and subscribing to the CX1 DJs. We do things different podcasts. We have a lot of legendary documentaries on the DJ part of the DJ point of view, coming to the CX1 DJs. We do things different podcasts. We're going to keep it hip hop for the old and the new, and educate those that don't know, educate those that do not know who came before the CX1 DJs. We do things different podcasts. This Sunday, April 12th, we have the legendary Louie Vega, house music producer, a Grammy Award winning Louie Vega, Untold Story of DJ Louie Vega, Louie Vega, this Sunday, 8 p.m. on Untold Stories on CX1 DJs.